How has a sport as deeply rooted in Japanese tradition as sumo been shaped by wrestlers from distant lands? If I mention sumo wrestlers, chances are the ones you know are foreigners: Hakuho, Akebono Taro, Asashoryu, or currently Yokozuna Hoshoryu. Why are they all from outside Japan? On the Sumo Spirit channel, we explore the countries that have dominated sumo up to the present day. As we can see, 6 are from Mongolia, compared to only 3 from the country that invented sumo, Japan. Sumo, a sport with deep roots in Japanese tradition, has evolved from a sacred ritual to a global spectacle, reflecting how cultural diversity can transform even the most entrenched practices. Its origins lie in the ancient Yamato region, now part of Nara Prefecture, where it was practiced as a ceremony to entertain Shinto gods and ensure bountiful harvests. During the Heian period, year 794 to 1185, it became an event for the imperial court, and in the Edo period, year 1603 to 1868, it was professionalized with formalized rules and regular tournaments, cementing its status as Japan's national sport. For centuries, Japanese wrestlers dominated sumo, with legendary figures leaving an indelible mark. Taiho Koki, active primarily in the 1960s, is considered one of the greatest icons, with 32 career championships, including 8 perfect tournaments without defeats and 6 consecutive titles. He amassed 872 career victories and held the yokozuna rank for 58 tournaments, with an 83.8% win rate. However, by the late 20th century, the sport began to change. In the booming 1970s, Japan was getting rich, and cushy tech and finance jobs lured men away from the grueling life of sumo. With fewer locals stepping into the ring, the Sumo Association grew desperate and bold. Their solution? Recruit muscle from paradise. First stop, Hawaii. That's how great figures from Hawaii arrived. In 1964, Jesse Kuhaulua, known by his ring name Takamiyama, debuted in professional sumo. In 1968, he became the first non-Japanese wrestler to reach the top division, Makuuchi, and more were on the way. His success paved the way for other Hawaiians, such as Konishiki, who in 1987 became the first foreigner to reach the rank of Ozeki. Undoubtedly, the greatest of them all was Akebono Taro, who won 11 tournaments between 1992 and 2000. He made history in 1993 as the first non-Japanese yokozuna, holding the rank for 48 tournaments and achieving it at just 23 years and 8 months old. These wrestlers, with their imposing size and refined technique, challenged the notion that sumo was exclusively Japanese, ushering in a new era of global competition. However, the true changing of the guard occurred in 1992, when 6 young Mongolians were recruited by the Oshima stable, marking the beginning of what is now known as the Mongolian era. The first star was Asashoryu Akinori, who arrived in Japan that same year and, in 2003, became the first Mongolian yokozuna. He won 25 tournaments between 2002 and 2010, including 5 perfect ones and 7 consecutive titles. Why have so many sumo wrestlers come from Mongolia? Simple. Wrestling is in their blood. From childhood, Mongolians practice buk, a traditional sport that's like sumo's wild cousin, gritty, powerful, and deeply respected, giving them a solid foundation. Their physical build also gives them an edge. Superior height and strength offer clear advantages in a sport where size and power are critical. Combined with the rigorous selection process of Japanese stables, only the best Mongolian talents make it through, concentrating the elite at the top levels of sumo. Mongolian wrestlers brought serious game, tall frames, long limbs for killer leverage, and lightning speed. They weren't just tough, they were built for this. Agile, strategic, and unstoppable. Japan had opened the door, and the Mongols charged in. Foreign wrestlers often enter sumo with an extra dose of motivation, driven by the desire to succeed in a new country, much like chasing the American dream in the United States. This drive helps them quickly adapt to the sport's demands, including learning Japanese and embracing the traditional diet, which can be an initial challenge. Since the 1990s, sumo stables have actively sought foreign talent, recognizing their potential. Although there was initial resistance, restrictions were relaxed in 1998. However, in 2002, the Japan Sumo Association imposed a limit on the number of foreign wrestlers allowed per stable, setting a quota of 1. But even that wasn't enough to slow the Mongolian wave. Their skill and dominance were undeniable, and many made their way to Japan. Their aggressiveness and charisma made sumo an electrifying sport to watch. Wrestlers like Asashoryu stormed the ring with fire, ferocious, fearless, and loud. He didn't just win, he roared, pumped his fists, and owned every moment. But in Japan, sumo isn't just a sport, it's a sacred tradition. Grace, humility, and quiet strength are part of the code. So when Asashoryu celebrated like a rock star, it rattled the old guard. To them, that kind of wild energy didn't belong in the dohyo. Other great figures soon followed. Haruma Fuji reached the Makuuchi division in November 2004. Kaku-ryu Rikisaburo made his Makuuchi debut in November 2006 and went on to win 6 Emperor's Cups in the top division. Another powerhouse, Terunofuji Haruo, was promoted to yokozuna in 2021. And of course, Kaku-ryu Rikisaburo became the 71st yokozuna. And then came Hakuho, the legend, a Mongolian marvel with 45 championships, including 16 flawless runs and 7 back-to-back titles. He didn't just win, he dominated, racking up over 1,000 top division victories. For 84 tournaments, he reigned as yokozuna with an unmatched 84.6% win rate, pure sumo perfection. The only active yokozuna today? Another Mongolian master, Hoshoryu, crowned in January 2025. Known for his slick technique and razor-sharp strategy, he's turned sumo into a game of brains as much as brawn. Adaptability, speed, precision, that's his style. Sumo has entered a new, cerebral era. And Japanese wrestlers, fewer and fewer Japanese teens are stepping into the sumo ring. Only 53 joined in 2023, a sharp drop from the numbers seen in the 90s. Blame it on shrinking birth rates and better paying jobs elsewhere. But sumo isn't fading, it's evolving. Thanks to the dominance of Hawaiians and Mongolians, the sport is now drawing fresh talent from all over the world. Hawaii and Mongolia were not the only territories to produce great sumo wrestlers. Georgia saw Tochinoshin Teruji reach the rank of Ozeki in 2018, becoming the first Georgian to do so. And while he did not win tournaments, his rise was a milestone. Bulgaria had Kotushu Katsunori, who reached Ozeki in 2008, also without championships, but making his presence felt in the upper ranks. Estonia stood out with Kaio Hiroyuki, who won 5 tournaments in the top division between 1999 and 2004, an impressive streak for a non-yokozuna, and held records such as the most tournaments in the top division and most victories, retiring in 2013. Currently, 2 Ukrainians compete in the top division of Sumo Makuuchi, Shishi, and Ioni Shiki, who are currently competing in the 2025 Natsu Basho. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the Sumo Spirit channel. Let's keep going. Why has Japan lost ground? The decline of Japanese wrestlers is a complex phenomenon. Cultural factors, such as a waning interest among Japanese youth in the sumo lifestyle, have played a key role. Sumo demands extreme discipline, including intense training, a high-calorie diet, and communal living in stables. These requirements may deter a generation that prefers more flexible and modern career paths. Additionally, the sport's physical rigor and health risks, such as a shorter life expectancy of around 65 years compared to the national average of 78, have reduced the number of aspiring wrestlers. Scandals within the Japan Sumo Association, including match fixing and violence in stables, have further damaged the sport's image, discouraging potential talent. Moreover, while sumo's long history and traditions are deeply rooted in Japanese culture, they may feel outdated to younger generations drawn to modern entertainment like anime, manga, and video games. Japan's fast-paced lifestyle and growing societal pressures leave less time and energy for a discipline that demands total commitment. Foreign competition, especially from Mongolian wrestlers, has also raised the bar, making it more difficult for Japanese wrestlers to maintain dominance. Despite this, Japan continues to produce talents like Takakeisho and Takarafuji, who remain fan favorites. But today, the path to the top is more challenging than ever. Actually, as of May 2025, sumo remains dominated by Mongolians, with Asashoryu as the current yokozuna. Other Mongolian wrestlers, such as Kinbozan and Hokuseiho, hold prominent positions in the Makuchi division. However, other countries have also begun to make their mark. Amateur sumo is gaining popularity in Europe and the United States, with competitions like the US Sumo Open helping to foster new talent for the future. In 2025, Ukraine became the 7th foreign country to have 2 or more wrestlers in the top division, with Shai Plushi and Ioni Shiki, as mentioned earlier. Sumo remains a fascinating spectacle, with tournaments held every 2 months, each lasting 15 days, where rankings are updated based on performance. It reflects how tradition can adapt and thrive in a multicultural world. Mongolians may be leading in 2025, but there's growing room for new countries, like Ukraine and others from Europe, to leave their mark on this ancient martial art. From Japan's early dominance to the rise of Mongolian and other international wrestlers, sumo has become a global stage for cultural and athletic expression. The question remains, which nationality will next ascend the sumo throne, and how will they transform the sport? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the Sumo Spirit channel for more content. See you in the next video.